Appreciate you very kindly, Nate. And he's on the panel, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in, Nate.
Oh, good morning. This is what I get to wake up to.
I tried my best. I tried my best. Obviously, everybody knows I don't think weed should just be legalized, but I said, screw it. I'll take the affirmative on it. I tried. I tried my best.
Well, but so it seems really pedantic, but there is an actual difference between legalization and decriminalization.
Thank you.
Decriminalization just removes any kind of penalty for use or non-use, right? Legalization sets licenses, certificates, permits, and the actual definition of a license is permission to do something which without that permission would be illegal. So it's all, you want to rot your brain, fine, just stay off the freaking roads, stay away from the rest of society, lock yourself in a closet and do it.
That's why I say legalization. So, same time, if you legalize it, I think they're going to crack down on people driving under the influence of it. That would be my biggest problem.
Well, you got
what people want to do to themselves.
Right.
I don't really, it doesn't really, as far as that, it doesn't really affect me if somebody wants to be stoned all day, as long as they're not using it at work. Because I have almost gotten killed from working with somebody that would go in 9:30 break and lunch break, would go in their car and get stoned. And for about 45 minutes afterwards, they were just goofy as hell, couldn't do shit.
I hate that shit too. Do you really think I'm stoned 24 hours a day?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. You didn't even ask. That would have been probably
only when he jumps on Teriak's panel.
So criminalization thing.
So here's the thing: is like there is no rapid test that is even 45% reliable for THC and cannabinoids, right?
I got it.
So there is no way to test roadside whether or not someone is on it.
Yeah, they do a blood test and they can't tell. They can't exactly tell when you used it. I get it.
Right. And there's no way to tell how much of it should be affecting who. It is, I mean, yeah, alcohol affects everybody a little bit differently, but overall it's the same. Whereas, like, oh shit, in my 20s, I quit smoking weed because every time I took a hit, I had 5 minutes and I was passing out for an hour. Like, there's no such thing as public intox with cannabis for me, right? Other people can be smoking blunts 24/7 and you wouldn't even notice other than the smell. So
my argument is it still affects you to some extent.
Control with medical. Oh yeah, it definitely would. But those guys are generally just pedaling around on their bicycles all day and never breaking a 5-mile-an-hour limit. So, what are you going to do about that? Anyway, it was a ridiculous thing to wake up to, hearing two dudes arguing about freaking cannabis. Anyway,
well, did you miss
good
the
morning,
first
everybody?
One? Good morning. Did you miss the first? Did you miss the first one where we were the first debate where I was where the prompt was, which is really ambiguous.
Yeah, I didn't.
Cannabis is bad. So I took the side. My argument was yes. I think there are definitely negative things, and I think I think it would be better off if more people weren't going around under the influence of brain altering substance. That's
Well, like a key thing, like I said, in terms of the from what I saw was that like you need to drive the point home in terms of like pointing out the harms, because when you say it's harmful, right? There's things that like, for example, like chemotherapy is harmful, but it's the only way that like you can get rid of cancer. Or it's not the only way, but it's like one method that technically does kill cancer cells, but also kills the healthy cells. You know what I mean? So then the debate would then come down to like defining the specifics of harm, which kind of is like trying to catch a pigeon in a on a farm kind of thing. It can be quite difficult to nail down. But the on the flip side, the critique I'd give to Dart is like mentality where it's like I don't want to give anything away before a debate. Like if you have the trump card, you know what I mean, you'd want to throw that down beforehand, because if you're in the mentality where it's I don't want to give anything away before they actually go in, then you're kind of like leaving yourself open to, okay, if they actually have the counter already on hand, then you're not going to see it as well. Like if you look at it more so of the mentality that I want to just be able to keep improving like the argument, and it's kind of like make it even better and all this kind of shit, waiting off until the debate, you're kind of like doing yourself a disservice on that. Like that's why typically when I am going before a debate, I'm going to be throwing the like arguments out and all this kind of stuff, see if they get knocked down easy, because if there is a counter to that like perspective, then like I'm going to hear the rebuttal, and then I have time before the debate to have a counter to the counter, if you get me. So like there's that whole kind of aspect. Also like Nate and Dart basic rage quit. You know what I mean? Nate saying that is connection lagged out. I hate rest there. I understand. You know what I mean? And Dart just got walked away as well. You know what I mean? I was like, what the fuck? If you say that you destroy him, like it's kind of like you sit back and kind of say, I could do this all day. The Captain America.
I'm looking at comments in the chat, and I mean, if I have time to prepare, like there's a lot of data out there. There's reports from nurses and physicians in emergency rooms. There are people that got, maybe it was the first time they smoked weed, and they're not all kids, or some adults that were suicidal and freaked out over it. Could it be that they were schizophrenic and was undiagnosed? Possibility. I don't know. I think I can come up with a pretty good argument. And this is Dart's wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Like I said, I gave up weed when I was in my 20s. And it wasn't really just to quit smoking weed, or other things involved. So I had to get away from it altogether to better my life. I'm not saying that there aren't some people. There are always outliers. There are some people like probably smoke 24/7, as long as they're not driving around stoned, like they're still handling their business. I think overall, you're like better off not. Is it better than prescription pain pills? If you could responsibly use THC for pain, hell yeah. Opiates are freaking horrible. Horrible.
All right, am I back?
Both
I hear
Nate
you.
and Dart are back.
I didn't rage quit, motherfucker. It's just this dude just talks over me. That's why I want to have the actual. I have no issues with any argument he
I
has.
wasn't even talking to you. I talked over you. I was talking to
What
Nate.
the fuck?
What are you talking about?
No, the whole earlier shit. That's why I'm like, if you want to have this longer form where we have turns to where you're not talking over me when I tell you that it's ridiculous to talk about children and the effects of THC, because that's on parents. I did do my nuclear weapon. That's one of my biggest ones. But I can do that all day. I have no issues him knowing my arguments. So I didn't rage quit.
No, I'm saying to put out. No. The rage quit is the meme. Like anytime someone, even if they like drop off, like with Nate, where he loses connection, it's like, yeah, that's a rage quit. I mean, that's a meme. But in terms of like the strengthening the argument, like you'd want to do it before the debate, purely because, like I said, like the aspect of if there is a counter.
he's seen
No,
several.
I'm just talking about like a general rule of general rule of thumb. Like you'd want to put the like what you have on the table to see if there is a possible counter. Do you know what I mean? Like
I'm
imagine
just
if we're
looking at-
if we're in a poker game and if you think you've the best hand, like
Mhm.
you'd want that to be like you'd want to be sure that this actually is the best hand to be able to test the back. Poker is not really a good example now that I think about it because of the whole betting aspect. But you'd want to be able to like think of like testing like for a sword or going to battle or something like that shit. You're going to make sure that like that whatever formula you have, whatever technology you have to building your weaponry, that it's already tried and tested before it's coming to the war. You know what I mean?
True, but I'm not going to sit here and like look up all the studies. I'll have those ready for the longer one, but I already know where to find them all. So I mean,
I look in the chat and I
he's
see
got
all these
nothing.
people like
He's got nothing.
alcohol. I see the people like on the weed side. It's like, oh, alcohol. But yeah, alcohol is
I don't
worse
have to
in
use
many
alcohol to
aspects.
make my argument either.
I think it's irrelevant though.
Right. Well, it's like, okay, so I live a life where
I'm just
absolutely
saying I just
everything.
rage quit. I do have to go to bed so that I can go sell weed.
Rage
Rage
quit, rage
quit.
quit. No, I'm joking. I'm
Rage
joking.
quit.
Rage quit. Rage quit.
I mean, I'm not really selling the weed, but I'm counting it.
Calling cops. That's it.
Go ahead.
That's
They
it.
come
Calling the
inspect
cops.
us all the
I'm
time.
gonna say. I know. I'm gonna.
Take it easy, Dart. Have a good one. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you for
I'm gonna
having me.
hire one of them guys that could locate anybody by just a photograph, and that's it.
Right.
Going Fed. Gonna go Fed.
Well, if Darth
But-
is really interested in having that conversation long form, he could do it by arranging everything with Teriak, right? Like he sends Teriak a private donation message for even $1, $2, whatever, and says, "Hey, here's my email. You can communicate. We can communicate through you to set this up." And then it's not. Then he's not doxing himself. If he's willing to show his face on camera on Teriak's, then he can share out an email, right?
We got to kind of you gotta, in all honesty, like I see problems like with the prompt. It's kind of like we could go around circles. You can go around circles forever. You know, like
Right.
is something bad? It's like, can it sometimes be? Is it never?
Well, it's like,
You know,
okay, so but like I said, that's where you have to be careful with the definitions of it. Decriminalization just removes any penalty for doing it, whereas legalization opens up options for licensing, certification, the ability to control a market for. You know what I mean? And that's what they've done with the medical legalization, and then recreational use. I mean, recreational use in the United States, every state that has it actually has three major contingencies in the bill that got passed to make it recreationally legal. Number one, they can yank your driver's license, your driving permissions for at any time for anything. If you're stoned and you jaywalk in front of a car, well, obviously you're not being responsible with your use of cannabis, so we're not going to let you drive anymore. Another one is they can prevent you from exercising your Second Amendment rights, and even purchasing freedom seeds. So they can also remove any previously held Second Amendment items, and that is in all 50 states that have made, or that is across all of the United States, everywhere that has made it recreational or medicinally legal. So it is, your ability at that point, your quote unquote freedom to use this natural plant has actually put other freedoms in jeopardy
Yeah.
at the
Well,
whim of the government.
to be clear, I just think I don't think they should have. I don't think they should have done any of it. I think you should have just left it the way it was before. I don't think decriminalizing it or legalizing it for recreational use is a good idea. To be fair, I think medical use, yes, for medical use. But then even that's a slippery slope because look at what they do. Like you basically you can go apply online, talk to a quote doctor for 10 minutes, say the right thing, and boom, you got a card.
Right. Well,
It's bullshit.
but that's the thing. Nobody actually reads the bills, because even with that, even with medical use, well, your ability to drive yourself to and from work or to and from doctor's offices can be removed at the government's will. Your ability to defend yourself and your family can be removed at the government's will. All for you making the choice to go through the licensure and certification to be able to use this stuff, right? So a flat decriminalization, and in the U.S. is weird because even if it is federally decriminalized, each individual state can make a criminal code on it.
Yeah. Well, look at this whole thing with the farm bill. Is it the something that where if it's less than less than 0.03% THC, that's considered like a hemp product basically, and it's legal. That was called something farm
Right.
bill. Yeah, like I have to. I'm gonna do a debate. I got to get all my notes in order on this. So, like I said, I gave this shit up a long time, like 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. So there's a store, and I couldn't believe this. So I vape, like nicotine, and it was a vape shop. Well, it was just a regular vape shop, and like 5 minutes from my house. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go over there for like vape juice. I'd go there for like sometimes in a pinch I need a coil or I need some cotton for wick glass for the tank. I go in there and I notice as I'm walking in, it's now called Cloud Hempistry. And I walk, I'm like, is this a dispensary? And I look and it got all these jars of weed. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize this was a dispensary. He's like, oh, no, it's not a dispensary. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, wait a second. I'm like, so I don't need a card if I were to buy this? He says, nope. They don't even check your ID. And it's THCA, bud. So it's premature. It's premature flower. But once you smoke that, it becomes, I mean, depending on the THCA level, 20%. It's weed. It's weed.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. And I watch all these people lined up outside of this place. It's just like, this is like out of control, man. You know?
Right. Well,
I don't know.
I mean, it is, and
That's
it's like anything. In today's world, if you can touch it, smell it, or poke it, there's someone gonna make money off it, right?
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, and so it's just the infrastructure needs to collapse so that we can go back to at this point, well, there aren't enough people who have basic skills, so we would literally go back to Stone Age within a week when the gasoline runs out, and then society will be able to reset itself.
Yeah. When I'll give it, it's another argument where I think this whole especially for recreational use, quote, medical use, which look at the loophole now. Like I just gave you an example. I go right down the block from my house. When I quit smoking weed, and I moved to an area in the sticks, and there were moments where, oh man, I could really use some freaking weed. And there were a couple of times where I was like, screw it, I want to smoke a joint. I couldn't find any. I didn't know anybody that sold. I couldn't find anybody that sold any. It was up in the woods, you know. I would have to drive back to like Philly, New York City to get it. Now, like it's just everywhere. So like it would have been a lot harder. It would have been a lot harder for me to quit.
Right.
You
I
know,
don't know. It's a. I live a life now, and I choose it. Having my CDL, I can actually be given a DUI or DWI, depending on the state, for a 0.02% blood alcohol content, and lose my ability to make money and my ability to drive a personal vehicle.
Yeah. So you need
where-
days off to drink.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Right?
Well, it does help me, you know. That there was a time when imbibement was a regular thing. But yeah, it's like absolute zero tolerance. There is, if you need a medical certification for THC or for cannabis, you do not get your CDL. They can actually withhold it for up to 7 years of proven non-use, like 7 years of regular testing. And it's nuts. It's crazy, but you know, at the same time, I have to drive through all these other states that have it recreationally legal and even medically legal, where all these idiots are running around puffing, you know, smoking trees, and they're sharing the same highway as me, you know.
Yeah.
And it's my job to keep them safe.
I watch these people. I see it. I never saw this before. The legalization, medical, recreational, whatever. It's not recreational. It's not. Wait, is it recreationally legal here in PA? It doesn't even matter. Like I said, you just go buy a THCA bud. But anyway, since this whole fad, I'll call it that, fad started, I I do construction work. We build a lot of water parks, hospitals, and water parks are a big thing up here in Northeast PA.
Right.
The hotels for the water park, 400 rooms. You got all these people from like the city that come up, and I could not walk in and out of that building. So we were adding another 260, another 260 rooms onto the existing hotel, which was operational. I had about 400 rooms. The parking lot would be real full of guests. I could not walk outside of the building without smelling it. And I'd watch these people in the parking lot smoking blunts, passing around a pipe. They got their toddlers, their 5-year-olds, just running around with them like it's no big deal. Thinking, what kind of message what kind of an example are you setting for your kids? You know, it's
right.
just it's insane.
So I can tell you, in the research that I had done previous, in tribal communities and tribal life with the Native Americans, they had access to peyote all the time. They had access to a lot of psilocybin, all kinds of stuff. It was not done on a regular daily recreational use. The only reason we need recreational alcohol or anything is because our lives are too comfortable. We have too much downtime, and it's easy to walk around and survive being inebriated. But using certain things in ceremonial use, where you actually block time out, people
Yeah.
actually pay, people who are sober pay attention to you while you're doing it to make sure nothing stupid happens. That's a completely different thing. But people will take
100%.
instances such as that, and next thing you know, they're doing DMT and
Yeah.
riding their longboard through traffic down San Francisco Hill. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I did the microdose thing, the psilocybin, for a
Yeah.
while. I wanted to try it out. See, it didn't really do it. It didn't really do anything for me. I do know people that it does work well for, but not everybody should be able to just go buy mushrooms. And but like at the same time, I've seen people get really freaking stoned. I mean, this weed today is no joke, and it can put you like kind of out of your freaking mind, and it can put dangerous thoughts in some people's heads. Of course, just like anything else, the more you get used to it, that doesn't happen as much. I get that. But there's some risk there too. Not on the same level as like peyote, but yeah, like these people with they're using people are using DMT like once a week, or like every other day.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's just not good.
Yeah. Well, it and this is the thing. Uh, before ancient Greece, um, and we'll call them cities, right? At that time, uh, before cities, it was very rare that any human used even ancient wine to be uh, inebriated on to the point of drunkenness, right? Like it was part of every day, but you had wine, to help aid in digestion of the nuts and grains and stuff that they were eating. To it was part of a meal rather than nowadays people use alcohol as a meal replacement. The people who drink their dinner, right? Guinness Guinness is actually originally produced as uh, a high calorie meal replacement.
What was?
So Guinness.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I didn't know that.
it's basically, I mean, Guinness is basically a really dense liquid bread, and it was a high calorie meal replacement, and there's just so much that we don't remember because it wasn't important, and then society gets too easy, too comfortable to where people can be fucked up 24/7, and it doesn't affect it. They don't see any effect on their life. Uh, we just didn't have those issues. But then removing yourself from reality, even with alcohol, forget THC, where anyway, uh, but even with alcohol, removing yourself out of reality for too long ends up creating psychological issues where there weren't any. So
Yeah.
Our escapism uh, is it only really hits when life is too comfortable. We create problems for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, my job is rough, like doing physical labor all day. You have a lot of pressure. It's go, go, go. You got deadlines to meet. Deadlines are always changed. It's like, okay, this project needs to be completed by March 21st. Then all of a sudden it's, now they want to open it, the last week in
3
February.
weeks early.
Yeah.
Right.
So, to give you an example, so like, I was working with it's two examples. I was working with this, call him a kid. He was about 20 years old. And I knew he was a pothead. He's always so. And I'm like, listen, dude, I don't care what you do, but I'm just telling you, you get hurt in the job, you report the injury, you go to the hospital. I can't save you. They're gonna piss test you. I cannot. There's nothing I could do to save you at that point. You know. Like,
Right.
I get it. Well, one day he's like, you could just tell he was really freaking really stoned. He was hitting his vape, like this vape thing, and he couldn't really smell it. And somebody mentioned it, like, dude, they called him Wavy Gravy. That was his nickname. Everybody knew he was a pothead. And I look at him, I'm like, bro, you're all right. So he was too high on he was two sections high, Baker scaffold, and I watch him not tied off, which you're supposed to, but whatever, we let go sometimes. And he's working framing this canopy outside, and you move along and you grab the steel beam and you slide, you roll yourself forward as you go, keep rolling yourself forward as you go along. That's a freaking big no. I never want to see anybody do that. Climb your lazy ass down and move it, you know. So I went up and I
Right.
said, hey, stop doing that. I said, I'm locking your wheels. I locked the wheels. Next thing you know, like 10 minutes later, I hear this crashing sound. I go out, and there he is on the ground holding his ankle. He forgot that I locked the wheels, went to roll, and he just tipped the thing over and went down with it. Of
Ugh.
course, broke his ankle, went to the hospital, got piss tested, lost his job.
Right.
Lost his job. That's
But
his problem.
is right.
I
It's a
had someone almost kill me
consequence.
though. This is Mason scaffold we were setting up. So I think we were about 8 stories high. So the front, you have screw jacks, the bottom, and you
Uh
gotta
huh.
clamp them. You gotta clamp them down to the steel. You go up another section. Sometimes the welders don't get there fast enough. The clamps are okay. We could go up maybe one or two more levels. And here's my stoner partner. He forgot to put the front 2 clamps on, and we pretty
Oh,
much started to go down. I had to jump off onto the next section, and as he was falling, he almost pulled me down with him, and
yeah.
not tied off. How he managed to save himself. He's freakishly strong. I'll give him that because he was kind of holding on with one arm. We both could have died that
Yeah.
day. I was pissed off. Can I prove it was because he went and got stoned at lunch? No, I can't, but it's pretty obvious. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, see, all right. So I also did a lot of construction when I was younger. I did lathing for stucco. So the
Yep.
mason's scaffold I know really well. We had this one job that was on a hill, and I had to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had to go 6 stories with the scaffold in order to be at the roof line.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, the screw jacks and had to be
Cinder blocks
nailed
to
off,
level it
and
out.
then every 3 levels you had to tie off, and then the top
Yep.
level above 3 had to be tied off, right?
Yep.
And that's where you're actually nailing wire into the wall and tying the scaffold onto it, right? Like
Yep.
it was anyway. We had one idiot who rolled down. He decided he was bringing his yard mule. Uh, he was tired of humping rolls of wire and paper down, so he had this tracked machine, and I mean, it wasn't weed, it was beer, but he'd pretty much crush a 30-pack through an 8-hour day. And
Wow.
yeah, he hit that, and I was literally I grabbed onto one of the vertical eaves, not even a horizontal, like get the top of it. One hand, I was in my leather glove, I was held on to the vertical eve when 65 feet of scaffold just collapsed.
So what do you do? He
It was
backed up into it.
ridiculous.
He backed. What kind of machine? Like a skid steer or like a rough terrain forklift? Like what?
No, it was called a yard mule. It's like a skid. It's like a snowmobile. Only the
I know what you're talking about.
people use them for ice fishing too.
I know what
right?
you're talking about.
Where the
Yeah.
tracks are on the front, you stand on the back and you pull whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had one of those with a cart from home, and it's just because he was too much of a drunk ass and didn't like running back and forth. He couldn't carry 8 rolls at once, and so he decided to bring that thing to work one day and freaking nearly killed me. But yeah, it was so I got to hang there for 2 minutes with one hand on a vertical grip, not even a horizontal grip. It was ridiculous.
Scary. That wire lap. That wire lap sucks, man. I was a anti-glove guy. I hated wearing gloves. Yeah, I've worked with that stuff, and like I put my hand on my girlfriend's leg. She had stockings, and it just rips the threads right out because your hands are like sandpaper. Right. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a while. I only see that anymore doing demo or some masonry work with stone. That's the only time I really see it. Mostly it's we're doing like demo interior, like these old the old plaster, horsehair plaster has the wire lap behind it. Sometimes it has those the wood lap that's hand nailed on there. It's all pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Now they're using all drive-in on everything anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like that stuff. It doesn't hold up well to the elements. Like they use it a lot down the Jersey Shore too. You should see what it looks like after 5 years of taking that salty air.
Oh yeah, you got to replace everything at any entryway.
Yep.
All the time.
Well,
I gotta get rolling here. I have until tomorrow morning to be 18 hours away. So
God bless
anyway,
you. That's a tough job. That's a tough job.
Oh yeah. All right,
man.
Have a good one, Nate.
Good talking to you, bud.
Keep it we say keep it shiny side up and momentum forward, right?
Mama.
Yeah. All right, you guys, I'm gonna drop back down to the chat. You guys have a great day.
Yep,
You too,
man.
Nate. Thanks for coming up.